Alrighty, we're live. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Rob the Builder. Can we build it? Yes, we can. How you doing, David? Now, today, hopefully, we're getting the 109 fuselage together and possibly the wings. Now, this we shall now attend to. Something I might think about in the process is oh, that's right, I hadn't put we'll see how we go on this front, kids. Now coming around, forgot something very important. In the words of the late great William Shakespeare, fuck yeah. Around she comes. If you didn't say that, I'm sure it's because you just simply didn't have enough imagination. Now, actually, fun fact, they reckon, as to who they is, who knows. But there's some supposition that Shakespeare's plays weren't actually written by Shakespeare, but instead by somebody who was of less station than his good self, but worked for him. But of course, if you're a pleb, nothing gets, especially back in those days, you got nothing. So yeah, as to whether the said pleb got a better deal out of life, I don't know. If that's true in the first place. Now, this is without the floor in. It's a pretty nice fit now, without the floor and without too much squeezing. All right. Might just give that a bit of give me a moment. Yeah, I think I might. I want to give that a bit of a file. It's rather delicate. Now, before I get too carried away, something I do want to check. Okay, yeah. I was a bit nervous about how the yoke was, how stable that was, as I'd had a bit of faffing about with it. But no, that's all looking very good in the hood. Now, what we will do is we'll get a file. I might just bring you guys in a bit. Focus, come on. Zoom in just a little bit. What I'm thinking, what I'm attending to here is, and I might even want to get the goggles on this just to be sure of things, to be honest. Such clarity never hurts, does it now? Especially when you're blind as a bat like I am. And, excuse me a moment, much to my annoyance, I have failed to put that away. And it's not something I should really be annoyed about, but it's just not good practice, is it? Now, we're just gonna, let's have a look here. Yeah, that can be possibly a little nicer. We can be a bit gentle with that. Yeah, I see you. And yeah, I'm doing the right thing here, I would suggest. Yeah. Now, remove goggles. Get this headset to settle. I've got to go to Officeworks today. I might get my new headset. I think that's where I got this one from. It would certainly save me. It's much nicer there. Yeah, there we go. All right. That being so good, people, pop that up to there. The floor can come to here. And we can get our floor in. Yes, we can. All right. Now, that's not really a good angle for you guys, is it? See how that goes. Actually, in some ways, that's not bad. If I can get just a bit of better focus. There we go. Because now I can maybe not quite there. There maybe. Oh yeah, you can sort of see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is get this into there and let that dry. Now, where's my file case? Give me a moment. Then I need to find the glue. Then while the floor is drying, now I seem to recall a problem I had last time. Now, if I put it in now, because I've only been going for, 7 minutes, you would think that after we'll see how long, how much time has it elapsed by the time I get this thing in. And then, hopefully, we can make assessments as to, I'd say this glue is going to be flowing a wee bit too fast. Well, I suppose let's see how we go. Well, it's certainly cooperative. That's no bad thing. I just had like a spider web of glue there, so I'm a bit. This one's flowing very nicely, probably excessively. One. Okay. Put the lid on. And as always, there we go. Come here. And diddly, in you go. Or not. There's our guideline. There we are. Oh, why do you stay on my finger like that, you bitch? Just making sure it's sitting nicely. And it is. Jolly good. Yeah, very good. Now, popping that over there to dry. Actually, hang on. Boom. There we go. Very nice. All right. That was cooperative, wasn't it? Now, getting our assembly sheets. Let's look at what they want us to do with the wings. Now, something I'll make mention of here. They actually have us putting the photo etch on the wheels now. I'm not going to do that. And the main reason that I'm not going to do that is because when moving house, I can see there's great potential for that to come off and for me to get very grumpy. In fact, avoiding having little things getting knocked off and me getting very grumpy is part of the reason why I want to get the fuselage together. All the stuff inside the cockpit will be protected to a point if I pack correctly. Now, the wings, however, which are here somewhere. Now, they are indeed a fairly predictable maneuver. Although there is 2 steps. Do I? Because my other option, give me a moment. That's right. I could potentially get a start on the canopies. Because they haven't had surface put on them yet. Yes. And that would definitely result in something that is not going to get damaged if you follow the logic I'm applying here. Excuse me. Yeah, that works potentially. So, to that end. Now, is this the, oh no, I've still got some surface in there, I think. Do I? Not really. This I'll do. So let's start giving that a bit of a mix. Oh, hey, Stevie, how you doing? Airbrushing tips. Actually, here's one. Now, this is, this is a response that might give you the, what's the word I'm looking for? A feeling of, well, you don't say, Sherlock. Practice. Now, what I mean by that is when I first started airbrushing, a tip I was given, and I put it to practice to use, and it was a really good idea, was spend a bit of time, get your airbrush, get acquainted with your airbrush, know how it operates, know how it feels. Get yourself a big piece of cardboard. And on that, check out how far you can bring your trigger back to get a certain amount coming out. Practice your control. Practice getting thin lines, thick lines, doing patterns. It'll improve your technique no end. And do that before you even hit your aircraft or car or whatever you're airbrushing. Now, with that, a big line I was hit with by a guy who is in fact a professional artist. He doesn't do scale models, he's an artist. With regards to airbrushing. Excuse me, I'll just, I think we're good to go on that. Was the old less is more, which is to say, as always with painting, if you can, you're better served doing 2, even 3 coats with your painting as opposed to 1 big one. Now, I know that's a pretty standard operating procedure. Oh, hey, Jeff, how are you doing? Yeah, mate. Look, any amount of practice you can do. In fact, I'll go a bit bigger than that even. You ready for this one? It doesn't matter what subject matter you're approaching. Airbrushing, cookery, martial arts, whatever. In any field, It's all practice. There's a famous book, I don't know if you've heard of it, but as a martial artist practitioner, I've read it numerous times. And it is the Book of Five Rings by a chappie named Miyamoto Musashi. And look, I'll spare you the details as to who Musashi is and all some of the more heavy duty and spectacular lines in it. But the relevant one is, to be successful, you must know the way. The way is in training. Practice, practice, practice. It'll never hurt you, man, in any field. Yeah, I'm fantastic. Thanks, Jeff. So that's all. That's, yeah, a risk of flogging a dead horse on that sort of a topic. I'm sure you get the drill. Now, yeah, so less is more again was one of the big tips I was given, and that's a pretty fair statement, by golly, by gosh, by crikey. What else? Don't get too close. Airbrushing as a general, now you're going to find there are little, what you want to consider. Say what'll I hold? Here we go. This will do it. So I've got my paint here, or my object here, and I'm airbrush. If I'm right up here, you get a splash. You don't want that. You want to be back a bit, nice and controlled. Watch some YouTube videos. You'll get some great tips off of YouTube. What else can I suggest? Clean your brush. This I cannot stress enough. Clean your brush. Just when you think it's clean enough, clean it further. A clean brush is a happy brush. Yeah, that'd be an important thing to do as far as getting the current through to drive the train, wouldn't it? Now, where's our little bits that I made? Get off of there. Yes. They have come up well. Good. Building more buildings. Well, I'll give you a hobby for a while. Now I've got other bits in here. Good, good, good. Yep, excellent. All right. So let me see. Yeah, I think that covers pretty much all my the tips I'd be throwing out about airbrushing there, Stevie. Hope that was helpful. Hope it wasn't overkill. Yeah. Look, something I'm considering, as I may have mentioned, is actually using my display cases, or getting my display cases, and in the bottom of them, sort of putting a tarmac sort of look, and at the back of them, actually, rubbing. Give me in fact, here we go. I might even be able to give you the eye. Oh no. Oh well, it's all part and parcel of how it rolls. Now, let's see if I can. Here we go. Oh, I might be able to show you what I'm on about there. There we go. Now, maybe if I can. Right, there we go. You can sort of see what I'm on about here, I think. At the moment, I'm working on a 109, and I'm about to do some prepping of the canopy with some whatchamacallit, surfacer. What I'm thinking about is, now you can see how I've got the B17 and the length there, and that's pretty much how I display. But I'm thinking, and I do sometimes, kids, it's true, that what I might do is on the floor of that shelf, or on that shelf, put a surface that looks like a tarmac and maybe some oil stains. I could even put some small people there, as depending on what I've got on the shelf, like if I've got the German and UK aircraft, I might do I could even do it as like it was an air show sort of a setup. And maybe at the back put like entrances to big hangars. I wouldn't actually have a hangar, obviously, but the image there, I've sort of put something there of that ilk. That's something I'm considering. Now back to here and zoom out again. Yeah, but now in the meantime, this will require a nice crisp blush. And then my goggles. I've got it's pretty chilly here today, and I've got my jacket on. And because it's got these sort of things hanging down, it yeah, makes it a bit easy to knock things around a bit. We'll see, but it should be right from here. Now, indeed it does. I'm a fan of any information on any subject matter. Yeah, there is not really such a thing as too much. Now, this is going to be painful. Give me a moment. I'm going to get this positioned such that you guys can have at least some view as to what the hell I'm doing. Give me a moment. Getting overly anxious there. Like a bit of cardboard just touched the floor. I've gone, oh no. Let me just have a... Yeah, that's sweet. Maybe just... No. That's just me being particular. Excellent. Now, getting back to this. There we go. Indeed, getting back to information and its merits, one of the things that what have I done now? Where am I? There. Base teacher. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to get a good shot for you. Oh, hang on. There we go. Now, if I'm there, right. For fuck's sake. Marvel's that is that he'll start teaching me something, and I'll start seeking more and more detail about what he's teaching. What I use on clear parts is get yourself some of this, mate. Boom. Crystal clear. It dries clear. Boom. Therefore, if you make an error, it's less of an issue. So, yeah. Now, one of the other things I would... I can't stress this enough. Sorry, guys. I'm getting distracted by this bloody headset. Is when it comes to both hand brushes and especially your airbrush, you look after your airbrush and your brush, and they will look after you. What I mean by this, excuse me while I get a toothpick, is that if you keep them clean, you will get continuing and ongoing good service. Hang on, I'm really unhappy with my camera angle here. Hey! There we are. I wouldn't use that anyway. I'd recommend this. Always use good quality products matter. This is my go-to for things like wings, fuselage, main body stuff. The stuff that you've got to buy and rock hard. Crystal clear is good. One of the things you can also do with crystal clear, as an aside, is because it dries clear. In many ways, I find it preferable to actual. If I want to fill a gap, I'll use that over putty, because you don't have to sand it down. You can just guide it as you wish, and I do. And it dries clear, so as it doesn't have to be excuse me a moment while I concentrate. There we go. Yeah. Because sorry guys. That way you once the gap's filled, and when you put the crystal clear in, you'll just smooth it off. It'll dry clear, smooth, bam, paint. No one's the fucking wiser, mate. Boom shakalaka like a wop bamboo. I'm a fan, as you can gather. So that's what I would use for canopies. Yeah, give me a moment. Here we are. Oops. Lots of tidying up required there. This we shall now do. Yep. There we go. Yep. All right. In a minute, I'll give you a zoom in once I've done the vertical bar. Hang on a moment here. A little more scritchy. It's that toothpick just on the top there. Now, right. So what I'm doing here, just so as you can get a bit of a is first part of the canopy on the 109. Now I'm going to go right the way around the edge, around the outside, and do the rest like that. Now, for those who are new to the idea of canopies, something I would suggest, I'm trying to get a bit of a better focus on that. I'm going the wrong way there too, is I find them easier to do by hand than by masking up and stuff. To me, by the time that's probably further than I want to. By the time you have masked, and there, of course, we go up here. And then painted. it's been my experience, and also the other. Oh, look, every time go up and off camera, doesn't seem to matter where I go to. Yeah, anyway, and put your masks on, which officially and for the record I find can be a complete pain in the ass. Okay, there's tricks to the trade. Okay, give me a moment. And let me finish this canopy. I'm going to clean my brush, and then I will explain what my approach is and how I deal with that. Alrighty, now, yeah. Now, almost there. When I do actually do very little masking, in truth. Partly because I'm very lazy, and partly because, actually that's not true, I can do some huge amounts of masking on occasion, depending on what area we're talking about. Now, the easiest way for me to explain this is the only time when I do masking, there we go, it's generally only on the main fuselage to delineate top from bottom. Now, the reason for that is that, oops, a daisy, a bit of toothpick working required here. Give me a moment. Hang on. That'll be good. And the reason for that is because when you're putting, say, okay, we're doing a 109. Say I was to put hellblau, which is usually a standard or pretty common Luftwaffe color on the undercarriage. Putting that on's fine, but you don't want to get that on your upper wing. So you mask that all the way around to make sure you don't get that up onto there. Equally, of course, if I'm going to be doing I don't know, say I'm doing oh, nice one, Jeff. But yeah, anyway, my once you've gotten the hellblau one, when I was to put the Schwarzglun, or actually that's incorrect to pronounce it, Schwarzglun, and or say Dunkelglun colors on, I would equally mask all the way around the bottom to make sure that obviously none got on that. Now, sometimes, depending on the sorry, I'm just checking something here. Yes. Depending on the color scheme, you will necessarily have to mask up very precisely. As an example, you will find that the Luftwaffe often had very geometric lines to their camouflage patterns. And you're not going to get that beautiful, crisp, straight line without masking. That's my experience. On the other hand, you get the a lot of the allied ones have a certainly the British ones, more than the American ones, have there we go, getting a bit of tricksiness with this. There we are. Right, there we go. Oh, Jesus, my bloody headset, I tell you. Between that and goggles, it's not helping one's cause. Boom. There we go. One canopy. All right. Now, an example. This might actually give us an example of what I'm talking about with the geometric shapes of the Luftwaffe. And does. How convenient. All right. So if you look at, say, this one here. Boom, boom. Again, masking required, just for ease of purpose. You'll see, of course, here equally. Lower colours. Ding, 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 ding. You obviously have to mask accordingly. I'm sure you've worked that out for yourself. I tend to do these sorts of struts here last, in terms of I don't put them on until I've gotten everything else painted. I paint them separately because try how you can mask that and still get into there. Seriously now. What I also tend to do to limit is that I don't put the canopies on until all of that is painted. And what I do is I have some old canopies that I did not need to use. I tend to splash them in there and then mask that off as tightly as I can. A bit of redoing is required, but that's fine. But it saves me having to worry about the canopy at all. It keeps it nice and clear, keeps the cockpit clean. Boom. That's my theory. So what's the your balsa wood aircraft, Jeff? What type of aircraft is it? Now, pop that one over to there to dry. Now I've got more of them. Yes, I do. There it is. Now, something I have just remembered, guys. Here we go. Here's one. I think I've got even more. Oh, wait. There's more. Now, just remembered last stream when I went to put the other side of the fuselage on, it went pear-shaped because of it wasn't fully dried. Now I'm all nervous. I probably shouldn't be. Let's see how I feel about whether the fuselage will need to go. Give me a moment. Here we go. Here's another part. That's a front part. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Now, we'll need to do a bit of filing and sanding. I'm going to take my goggles. Actually, I'm going to clean the brush first. Now, Okay. Yeah, when it comes to the more, getting back to masking, Stevie, so that when it comes to the sort of allied colours or camouflage patterns, you often get like this, say, I don't know, you'll roll with the classic patterns that they used to use during the Battle of Britain. And there, what's salt coats? I'm in South Australia, mate. My accent is perhaps slightly different to most. And that would, if so, that would be because my family, I'm the only member of my family who was actually born in Australia, at least of my generation anyway. I have nieces and nephews who were born here. And my family is originally from the UK, England. Don't hold it against me. Yeah, my parents both grew up in London, although my grandfather was originally from Kent, I think it was. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of, as you can gather, I've never heard of it, mate. I have a mate of mine is. Do you say you're from Glasgow? A mate of mine's married to a Glaswegian. I believe the term is lass. Over here, and she was over here working. And that's how we met her. He's been there a few times. So yeah. And I have had haggis. And I do like it. And what I'd actually like to do is to prepare it for myself. I enjoy cookery, you see. So yeah. Now, goggles. Mouthful of coffee wouldn't hurt. Whenever I think of seaside towns, Stevie, here's one for you. And this is going back to an old rhyme that I remember hearing when I was just a kid. I reckon I got it from my mum, but it's something to the effect of, and maybe this is just an English one, I don't know if it goes all the way around the UK, but whatever. There's a seaside town called Blackpool that's known for fresh air and fun. Something to that effect. It starts off and there's this whole line. Classic stuff. Yeah, that's quality. Yeah, Glaswegian behaviour. That is. Now, here's a quick question. I'm guessing this is a. Every culture does this to varying degrees, but nobody seems to do it more than the UK. Butties. Now, I was first introduced to the concept of a butty with regards to the tried and tested chip butty. But it has since come to my attention that the term butty can be applied to literally anything, depending on context. And the question I have, because something I'm rather partial to doing, is I like vindaloos, like a lot of people. Ooh, that's a lot more that I need there. I need to be a bit careful here. And I'm also partial to getting some leftover vindaloo, putting it between a couple of slices of bread, munging it down. Is that a vindaloo butty? These are questions I have. That's classic. There we go. Now, this brush is getting a little bit tired, for want of a better choice of words. It's already seen a bit of action. I probably should have freshened up my brush when I cleaned this the first time. This I will now fix. Now, today, most of these paints will be put away. The remainder of my streams this week will be on the Viking figure. And it's not a butty. Okay. So mine, what I had in Scotland would be called a piece on Vindaloo. Now, here we go. Now. Yeah, I don't think I did my last brush any favours by accidentally getting a bit too vigorous with some paint. So just changing the brush is probably in my interests there. Delay. Might just tidy that line a little. And there. A little. All right. Now this gets very easy. Here we go. Ashet pie. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm guessing it's not shit, so that's the starting point. I'm trying to think of what word it sounds, or something it might sound like. Nah, okay, hit us with it. Because often there are words that it sounds like, and you just got to see it. But at the moment, I'm just not seeing that one. Hang on, my headset's coming off. Dear, oh dear. For fuck's sake, this headset, I tell you. Yeah, look. Now, you just come. A steak pie from the chip shop. That is funny. What? Oh, hang on. I think I'm starting to get the maybe it's a sort of mangling of putting steak and shop together in some capacity, sort of a thing. That's all I'm thinking. That's funny. All right. Now, let me just see if I can get this bloody headset to sit at least some semblance of. Oh, for God's sake. Hang on a moment, guys. Hey, you're. Get that out to there. Oh, for fuck's sake, Richie. What the fuck now? What are you doing to me? Oh, I tell you. Yes, definitely. The only reason I've been holding off the new headset is because of moving. I figured, well, why we're under the risk of damaging it. Anyway. Battered Mars bar. We get them over here. Deep fried Mars bars. Okay, there's a. Now the bar there is very, very thin. But yeah. Now. But it's them done. Now, there's one more. And conveniently, Buckfast. Might know about something else. What's Buckfast? Oh, these are a little too chunky for a punky. Actually, I know what I'll do. The obvious solution. I'll need to zoom out a bit here. These I normally use to put on my put my bracelet on. These are, Jesus, Mum. These were my mum's. That is chunky as. Good set of tweezers in certain circumstances, but fuck me, they're big. Now, over here in Australia, we get a lot of different stuff, food-wise, because we're pretty much built on immigration. In the early days, forced. And these days, just because of the nature of the world. It's going to be a little tricky. There we go. But right, no, in that case, you're probably not talking to someone who would be possessed of said information. And the reason I say that is because I don't actually drink, mate. Don't get me wrong. You put a nice quote. I don't drink as a general recreational thing. That said, if I am presented with a suitable beverage of a certain quality, then I'll tell you right now, if only a fool says no to that. For example, I was once offered and accepted quite happily some 70-year-old scotch. Now, when you've got something of that standard being offered, only one sort of person says no. Because that is, oh, for fuck's sake, this headset. Because that is quality shit right there, you know. I would be unsurprised that if we did get it, and the reason I say that is because two reasons. One, we have a very large UK population still in Australia. That's probably of no surprise to anyone, particularly here in South Australia. Up in there's a town just to the north of Adelaide. But yeah, look, alcohol can be pretty savage at times. I stopped drinking regularly because I got very seriously into my weights in rugby when I was young. And then as I became a bouncer, it became, you sort of saw, because I saw a bit more of the ugly side of it, and it's sad to say, a bit of that. The urge sort of to, yeah, I'll take part in that, sort of wasn't as much, if you follow me. But again, quality alcohol should never be said no to. I'm not that much on beer. I'm more of a spirits and wine man when the time comes. But I went out with a mate to a German restaurant. And oh no! Oh, no, there it is. Now, hang on, tweezers. Come here, you. Dear, oh dear. There we go, I think. That was a bit scary for a moment. Now, and hang on. Done. Now that's our interior of them done. Gotta take the goggles off for a moment. Now, yeah, look, anu is a pretty common one. Look, let's not be shy, people. In any, again, any field of endeavor, you're going to be getting the "oh no" factor at some stage. Now, I've got two options here. Do I, or do I want to let that settle for a bit longer before I attempt to put the other side on? Hang on, let me clean this brush while I have this little debate with myself. Part of me wants to let that dry a little longer. Part of me is going that I'm being a drama queen. Now, what I might also do, let's see how you travel with the notion of here's a question. Now, the question I was also going to ask, have I ever been to Scotland? No, mate. I haven't even. Of the nations in the UK that I should go to, I should actually go first to England because I actually still have family there. I'm in contact with my mum's cousin. He'd be pretty old by this stage anyway. But it is the entirety of the UK. Here we go. This is just bearing in mind from an Australian perspective, and I come from a country that has pretty big dimensions. The entirety of the UK is pretty small, but there's a lot to see there. Certainly in Scotland as well. It's the sort of place you could go to and quite happily spend a lengthy period of time just going to castles and shit. And there we go. You know what, chaps? I reckon. Give me a moment just to. Yeah, we're doing this. Yes, we are. Yeah. Now. Yeah, we're doing it. Decision made. Yeah, the only countries outside of Australia that I've actually been to are China and Thailand. I went to both of them to do training. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Very educational, not just from a training perspective. Now, something I want to quickly check here. Before I... Where can I... now you see... Oh, no, I could... get one there, though. That'll do it. I'm looking at possible positions for rubber bands. And I reckon, actually, I'm better... There we go. Yeah, nice. All right. All right. Actually, how much pressure can that... No, we're not doing that. All right. I don't know. I mean, seeing shit like, okay, we're looking at a few different locales here that I'd like to go and see from just my knowledge of history and stuff. Certainly you'd want to be seeing shit like Tower of London. I know that's a tourist thing more than anything else, but the history of the place would be specky. Don't think you can get guided tours of Buck House, but if you could, that'd be kind of cool. The Imperial War Museum, boom. That would be somewhere I'd want to go see. Maybe one of the Duxford, maybe go to Duxford Air Museum. Heading up north, we're looking at maybe stuff like Edinburgh Castle or something like that. One of the castles up there. Hadrian's Wall. There we go. I'm trying to think where I'd go look at it in Wales. There'd be places that if I just, because I know that there's probably Carnarvon Castle, I believe, is quite a corker. But yeah, there's all sorts of things. Like that's more where I'd be going. These are the things that I like to look at. Yes, they are. I remember seeing the Great Wall of China. I mean, like I said, we were there to train. Me and the guys I went with. And but we still did a tourist thing. We went and saw the Forbidden City, which was mind-blowing. And excuse me, I'm just loosening my thumb. I was getting a bit does this weird little thing. Yeah, anyway, went and saw the Forbidden City, went to the Great Wall, went and saw the Grand Palace in Bangkok. And yeah, some of it was full on. The Great Wall blew my mind. It was just the sheer size of the walls on their own just had me going, wow, that's some major shit right there. My instructor, who had already been there before, and he was actually Chinese. Not obviously the one I went and saw in China was, but the one who I knew in Australia was as well. That's how he got us over there and doing all the training with the right people. Anyway, but yeah, when we went and saw the wall, his take on or comments that because we were going to went for a walk along it. I tell you, who the hell would build a wall in those positions is all I'm saying. But be that as it may, his take on it was it's just a wall. He'd seen it before. Are you for fucking real, mate? Just a fucking wall. Bullshit. It was huge. And it's kind of full on when you consider that people got worked to death in its construction. Now we're going to put one here. Once we've got one and there, one there. Yeah, there's a whole stack of places. And there's even a whole stack of places in other parts. Look, if I had a few variables need to come into play, but there are so many places in the world I would love to visit. And some of them would be quite harrowing. And indeed, I can confirm. Oh, that's not quite straight. Up pitch into there. And right the way down to I've found. Give me a moment. Wait till I get this other. Because when I went to China and Thailand, I got a warts and all look at the place. It wasn't a tourist thing I was there for. I was there to train. I was there to do a job, you know. So you got to see the place in all its undiminished ugliness. Not the stuff that you get if you go on a Kontiki tour or nothing. This is what the place is. And it's pretty confronting at times. In as much as you get to see true poverty. And when you're seeing kids whose biggest concern should be is where is their teddy, go around with ribs sticking out in rags, that changes your perspective on life. Yeah, at risk of getting a little morose. Now, there was a peg around here. I would like to find that, because right now it would be bloody handy. Okay, option 2. Come here. All right, we got our fuselage together. That's good. Happy about that. Now, next. Let me just check something for a moment. Yep, that's actually really swish. Very happy. Happy, happy. Joy, joy. There's a little gap down there. It's probably highlighted to some extent because of the blackwash we go, but it's not too bad. Any gap there we can fill with a bit of crystal clear. Mostly, I'm pretty happy with how we've rolled. Excellent. Now, but yeah, tell you what I'd like. See, this is the whole thing. Every country has things that I look at and go, I'd like to see that. Part of this is limited by A, finances, B, sometimes a desire for personal well-being, by which I mean, yes, there are things in places that archaeological stuff in places like Syria that would no doubt be fascinating. Now is not the time. That sort of a caper. But yeah, the list of things that I'd like to see is pretty long and extensive. Now, hey Kitty, how you doing? But yeah, like things like I'd like to go to Africa just to go to some of the game reserves and see the wildlife. That'd be awesome. China was cool, but there's a lot more I could have seen of that. India would be interesting. But there's almost no part of the world that doesn't have something that makes you go, I'd like to kind of check that out. Now, next, the insides of these. One. 2, 3. Delete. Doing well. Now. Ah. Which river is it that goes into Glasgow? I do not know these things. All right. Inside done on that part. Inside of this part, hopefully. And then, once we've gotten the insides of the canopies done, I think we can wind the stream up. We can call that a fairly good one achieved. Got the fuselage together, which was the primary objective. Oops. Actually, no, we're good. Very good. Now, the Clyde. I've heard of the Clyde. I've heard of a few things. I've heard of the. Obviously, I've heard of Loch Ness. That's a waterway I've heard of. But I've also heard of the Firth of Forth. Oh, this brush has gotten temperamental on me. Yes, cutie eye, it is cold. Now, one thing you can always bear in mind with regards to the temperature it is in my neck of the woods when I'm on, is that I'm usually on the coldest part of the day. I'm up at around 4:15, and I'm streaming at 6. And I mean, I like being up early. I find it preferable to being up late. But what it means is that, yeah, when I'm up, it's pretty bloody cold. Because it's the coldest part of the day. Now, one thing, seriously. Okay. This one doesn't want to play. I thought it was all okay after the cleaning. It's not. It's being grumpy. And the last thing you want is a grumpy brush when you're doing bloody canopy, I'll tell you. Yeah, anyway, what was I waffling about? So often in winter, and it's heading towards winter now, it can be quite chilly. But the other side of that is if I'm saying to you, wow, it's really hot today, yeah, right. Yeah, no, I used to do night shift. I was a bouncer for 13 years, so, you know, what do you want? Then I did other work that was at night. And once I got out of all of that, I decided I was going to sleep in healthy sleeping patterns. And your healthy and natural sleeping patterns are to be where you can get the lead by watching animals. They are up pretty much when the sun gets up. And they go to bed not too long after it goes down. And this fucking headset, I swear. Oops, toothpick. Yeah, just there. There we go. No, you don't. That one wants to come off. And I ain't having it. Stop that. Here we go. Now into there. All right, inside and out. Ready to go. Motor yachts. I've only been on a boat out at sea a few times, and even then nowhere particularly heavy duty, only out to over here. Just, oh, for fuck's sake. If you wonder what I'm cursing about, it's that bloody headset. Here in where I live, the nearest waterway, as in coastline, goes out to a gulf. And gulfs are, of course, pretty protected in the first place. And I went out there fishing and done it a couple of times. And generally I'm okay. But I have had the experience of when I was fishing once, I lost my rig and I had to go in and re-rig. And I was finding it a bit hard out in the wind, so I went and went inside the cabin because you're feeling all the motion, but none of it's making sense to your stomach. And let's just say I found myself suddenly dashing out and out into the Burley Trail. Now, almost done. A little clumsy there. There we go. A bit more perhaps with a new toothpick. Maybe this one. They do become a bit, when you use a toothpick like this, it does get a bit blunt after a while, for want of a better choice of words. There we go. And now just one line across and we are done. Inside and out with our surfacer. Small scratch. Just there. Alrighty. Let me just, what I'll do is I'll clean my brush. Does it? Oh, hang on. Does it snow in Australia? We get snow in some parts of the country. Some parts of Victoria and New South Wales and Tasmania get snow regularly, and they actually even have a skiing season. Over here in South Australia, where I live, very rarely, up at Mount Lofty, which is like not a mount in any meaningful context. It's pretty small. It's more of a big hill. But every now and again up there, they will get a light sprinkling, and it's considered a woo. So no, we don't really get snow, mate. Yeah, Sandhill Lofty is pretty much more the case. Look, in South Australia, we don't have real mountains here to tell. Oh, actually, the Flinders Ranges. I tell a lie. They're pretty significant. They run along a minor fault line, but they are big. Nothing like the Alps, don't get me wrong, but they are a very impressive set of structures. I've seen the base of them. Now let me get my goggles off. Then we'll go through what we've done today. But even the Australian mountains, where all the snow is, really isn't that impressive in comparison to the, yeah. Anyway, so today, got our canopies done. Inside and out with the surfacer, ready to rock. 1, 2, get out of the way. 2, come on, focus. Focus. And 3. As I said, inside and out. Now, finally, other thing we got done today. Zoom out a bit. We got our fuselage together. And there is much rejoicing. I can probably even, yep, Nice. All right, there we go. P51's good, but I won't be on that until... Well, I won't be on it at all this week. It's just going to be working on the Viking this week. I'm mostly about minimal, because I've got so much to do. I go to hospital on Friday. I probably won't be on the P51 for... You won't see... Because obviously you can imagine going into hospital on the Friday. I get out on the Monday. Oh, hey, Bassman, how you doing? Yeah, we caught a few, mate. We caught a few. Ben Nevis. I think I've vaguely heard of that. Anyway, that's what we got done today. I've just... I'm about to wind up, Bassman, but thanks for swinging past. Now, what was I going to say? Look, I'll be on before then. I'm hoping to be on... I'll be on tomorrow. We'll be working the Viking, just doing some painting. Nice and easy to sort of... The reason I want to do that is because I want to pack the kits I'm on now, the 109, the Boss Mustang, the P51B away securely and safely. Nice and easy. You don't want to lose parts in transit. This is going to be uncomfortable if I do that. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Oh, I know what a jobby is. That's a poo. Oh, I need to do a weird jobby. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't help myself at my attempt at a Scottish accent, but never mind. Anyway, so I'll be on tomorrow, and then Wednesday I move house. Tuesday and Wednesday I'm getting in the process of moving house. Thursday, hopefully I'll be in enough to be able to do a stream. We'll see how that rolls. Friday I get surgery, so I'm not going to be on over that Friday or the weekend. I get out on Monday, so I won't be on that Monday, but hopefully I'll be on Tuesday. I'm sure you get the drill, people. I'll send out... There'll be an announcement. So I probably should do one the day before, but I usually like to do one an hour before, but ultimately. That's with regards to the one that I'm doing when I get out of surgery. I'll need to see how I'm pulling up, of course. But it is only a hip replacement, so it shouldn't be too major. Now that I have finished that waffling, I will wind up, I will. Now, first-time viewers, you know what I'm about to suggest here. Follow, like, or subscribe. What can I tell you? And if you'd like to track me down other platforms, I'm Rob the Builder on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm Robster the Builder on Instagram and Twitch. And again, follow, like, or subscribe. Now, what else? Tomorrow, as I said, I'll be on. We'll be painting the Viking figurine. My desk will look rather different because I'll have packed away a whole stack of shit. Now, finally, what else? No, I think that's about it. My pleasure, David. Oh, my pleasure, Stevie. Now all being well, good people. Yes, that's me done. I'll be back tomorrow at a similar kit time and on the same kit channel. And I'll catch you good people later, hopefully. See yous.